All right, so a lot of people come to our office and they're like, hey, I'd like to get my thyroid tested. And then we go, okay, well, what's been tested? And so I just want to make like a public service announcement to if you're going to the thyroid, the next time you should go, at least ask for these simple things to be done. And so you should have a series of all these run to get an idea of what's going on with the thyroid. And if they don't run these, well, maybe consider an office visit at our office so we can help you test this out. So number one, we want to have TSH or thyroid stimulating hormone. Now, most people think, oh, that's a thyroid hormone. It's not. It's actually a hormone that comes from the pituitary. It helps stimulate and tell the pituitary or tell the thyroid from the pituitary, hey, this is how much thyroid hormone I'd like you to put out. It's important and ideally to be in a functional range with TSH. It should be like 1.8 to 3.0. You should also have a T3 and T4 run. What that tells us is what your thyroid is actually putting out in thyroxine thyroid hormone. And even better than that is what's called free T3 and free T4. How is that hormone getting into the tissue, breaking down, and then actually being utilized? That's what free T3 and free T4. Now, sometimes we use a reverse T3 to see if something's actually blocking the thyroid issue. So let's say you have a hormone that's cruising around, but then you have something that's bound to it. We'll call that reverse T3. If you have something bound to it, then you have a thyroid that's working fine, but you have something that's binding to it that's blocking it. You can also have antibodies such as TPO antibodies or thyroid globulin antibodies, and that is the most common autoimmune condition in the world of hypothyroidism that's called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So we need to know if you're converting your T3 to T3 or T4 to T3. And that's where liver enzymes can possibly come in and see if they're elevated, maybe they're not. If they're too low, maybe they're not. And then sometimes it is even the gut bacteria that they do convert T3 to T4 to T3. And then there's a feedback mechanism that goes to your brain where the hypothalamus regulates, oh, how much thyroid hormone do I have? Is try to release thyroid releasing hormone. Not a test that you have to have run, but that also feeds back into the pituitary and tells your pituitary how much TSH to release. So if you're just looking at TSH, or maybe you're only looking at T3 or T4 or total T3, or a free T3, any of these things, really do have an adequate picture to make a prognosis, a diagnosis, a plan of attack to go, okay, hey, what's this working? Because somebody can give you, and whether it's a hormone, and by the way, like thyroid hormone is hormone, T3, T4, those are hormones. And if they give you a supplement that maybe increases those or makes the thyroid put an output on it, what is it really doing? What if you have something that's blocked? What if it's not being converted? What if it's being underutilized? You don't know until you get the whole picture. So if there's an antibody issue, then we've got a completely different thing. It's not your thyroid at all. In fact, it's your immune system. Your immune system's run by your nervous system. Well, what made that happen? What if you have the TSH is very, very high, which would say that you have hypothyroidism, but really the T3 and T4 output are fine. I mean, there's other ways, or worse, they're not fine at all. What's going on here? Because you can have what's called primary hypothyroidism. You can have secondary hypothyroidism. Is it a pituitary issue that's not doing the thyroid to work? Is the pituitary fine and the thyroid's not working at all? Is the conversion not happening in other parts of your body? So just looking at TSH or really any of these blood tests as a snapshot in time going, hey, that's what's going on, is why so many people walk into many offices and not just ours and goes, I don't feel good. I'm tired all the time. My blood tests are normal. I don't feel good. And so you deserve all these tests, and if your doctor won't run them, we will. I'm Dr. Trites. Be well.